home team. We've had it ready from head to feet.
Swing to the right center field.
It's time to go. It's time to go right now. Get ready.
Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus is presented by Chevrolet. We are in Houston, a tasty matchup to open up a baseball weekend. This is a World Series rematch between the Houston Astros and the Philadelphia Phillies. The Astros and Alex Bregman, winners last year, despite the 3 home runs from Kyle Schwarber. Trey Turner in the house. Last time he was here, he was a Washington National and won a World Series crown. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, along with Ryan Spilborghs. Tricia Whitaker will join us shortly. Slow starts for both of these teams. They did not look in the first 3 weeks of the season anything like last year.
No, he said tasty matchup. I'm hungry for it because, I mean, both teams are playing high-quality baseball. The Astros coming off a 5-1 road trip where they swept the Braves. They took a series against Tampa, who doesn't lose at home. And the Phillies finally want to get over 500. But the best part, tonight, pitchers duel.
A postseason flavor to this pitchers matchup. For the Phillies, Aaron Nola, their ace. For the Astros, Framber Valdez, their ace.
This is going to be a really fantastic matchup because both guys do things differently. Framber Valdez has been one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball the last couple of years. And the way that the Astros got him, they signed him internationally as a 21-year-old. Just ridiculous. For Framber, last season in the World Series, unbelievable. He kind of conjured up memories of Bob Gibson, 2-0 in the World Series, and beyond that, 30 quality starts since 2022. That's the most in Major League Baseball. It allows Dusty and his bullpen to match up even better, and the ground ball rate is just simply ridiculous. There isn't a pitcher in baseball with this combination of pitches.
And he's really emerged from the shadows of Justin Verlander and is the true ace of the Astros.
He really is because he provides depth and he gets into the bullpen. So a good start from Framber sets up the rest of the series. That's why the Astros are so darn good. They're pitching.
Without question. All right, the Phillies, they got off to a slow start. 5-10, but they're finally right at 500. And Aaron Nola, a slow start. Looks like he's trying to turn the corner.
He is, and this is also par for the course for Aaron Nola. He has had slow starts in years past, especially when it comes to velocity. But Aaron Nola, really interesting. Last season, struck out over 230, less than 30 walks. How awesome is that? It hasn't happened since 1884 when they used to throw socks for baseball. He has picked up a lot of innings. He has one of the league's best strikeout to walk ratio when you consider the over 230 strikeouts and less than 30 walks. But he is suffering with a couple cases of not missing bats, not the way that he's used to. The curveball's phenomenal. He does have really good pinpoint command, but he's trying to figure some things out on the mound as well.
One thing they've identified, he's lost right now about a mile per hour on his fastball, and that sets everything up for him.
It really does. The strikeout percentage is at the lowest of his career. Batting average with 2 strikes. The league average is right around 170. It's 260 against Aaron Nola. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud. Here's the reason why. It's pretty simple. When you lose some fastball velocity, you lose some distance on the fastball. Last season in the postseason saw an uptick. Of course you would, because you have adrenaline going through you. This year, it's down, and the result is we're talking about a foot of distance. A foot of distance means party in the front, and the reason why he's giving up so many 2-strike hits.
These Phillies have won 8 of their last 11, and they're doing it without 2 of their biggest bats. How are they doing it? With answers are Tricia Whitaker. Tricia?
Well, Rich, the Phillies to start the season certainly needed some of the young hitters to step up in the wake of losing Bryce Harper and Rhys Hoskins, and that is exactly what the trio of Phillies daycare, as they're fondly referred to, has done. We're talking about Alec Baum, Brandon Marsh, and Bryson Stott. Let's take a look at those numbers. Alec Baum leads the team in RBI, Marsh third in the majors in OPS, and Stott boasted a 17-game hit streak to start the season. When we spoke with Phillies manager Rob Thompson of that trio, trio. He said, listen, they are working so hard, and the thing about them, they're themselves. He said they absolutely kept us afloat to start the season, and we certainly needed them in the midst of the beginning of some struggles in 2023. When we spoke with Stott about it, he said, yeah, we're super close. He said, I'm actually their neighbor. He said, Brandon and Alec, they're roommates, and I'm their neighbor. We spend a lot of time together. So, guys, a little bit of camaraderie in that Phillies clubhouse has certainly created a great culture to start the season.
Thank you, Tricia. Some great storylines coming into this Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV+. Framber Valdez, ace of the Astros. Aaron Nola, ace of the Phillies. World Series rematch right around the bend.
Than this one, it's the World Series. Kyle Tucker puts the Astros on the board. Real Muto starts the 10th with a go-ahead shot. Whatever Bryce Harper told him, it's like helped.
A World Series no-hitter for the Houston Astros.
The Houston Astros, world champions!
That was then. Tonight on Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet, they meet again. A 3-game interleague series. Dusty Baker's first world championship still fresh in the memories here.
What is that?
That's Brandon Marsh getting the scalp massage, getting that moss just right. Starting lineups are presented by MLB The Show 23. Phillies lineup features Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber had the 3 homers in the World Series, and his MLB The Show player rating is 76. And he looks great in virtual reality as well. Framber Valdez, the 29-year-old, great year last year. As Billy illuminated a incredible postseason and off to a pretty good start this year.
This guy is as close to a unicorn as a pitcher as baseball's ever seen. I mean, we're talking about a sinker curveball mix that is just beyond quality. It's not just quality with the 30 quality starts since last year, most in baseball, it's ground control. The league has a negative launch angle against the pitches of Framber, and what's been amazing about him, he's not big. He started pitching when he was 16 years old, was signed out of Dominican when he was 21, was a position player in the outfield, and now he's just been unbelievable. The sinker throws about 53% of the time. The curveball, Machete, Martin Maldonado just sets up right down the middle and lets the action of his pitches work. And for the Astros behind him, one of the best fielding groups in Major League Baseball.
And an Astros rotation that was just wonderful on the last road trip. Jeremy Pena going through the scouting report. Astros pitching hasn't given up a run in 19 consecutive innings, and that was against one of the best teams in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays. And so Framber Valdez, Bryson Stott, top of the lineup for the Phillies. He's hot. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber will follow. And from the third base side, Valdez goes to work. Stott is a guy that really has blossomed. He isn't striking out a whole lot. He had a 17-game hit streak earlier this season. Well, that scouting card was true. Pena makes the play. Let's take a look at tonight's odds, courtesy of BetMGM. Tonight's moneyline odds on who will win. Odds are, we'll see it after this pitch.
Good. It's like odds are Framber is going to have a lot of ground ball outs tonight.
Every now and then you get a bad hop, Spilly, you got to knock it down and make a play.
I like to point this out when it comes to, oh, here we go. Here's the money line on today's game from BetMGM. That's
Mattress Mac.
Is just a bit outside.
Not a professional endorsement, but he has been known to put some money behind the Astros to win. Valdez misses down and in. Trey Turner, amazingly, not off to a good start. I mean, here are the Phillies. They've won 8 of their last 11. They're finally at 500. They've not been over 500. And Turner has been a slow starter. And I noted earlier, the last time he was in this building, he was celebrating with the Washington Nationals in the 2019 World Championship.
Well, the road batting average this season, 345, 145 points higher. The on base much higher. Everything better on the road. But for Phillies fans, don't you worry. You've seen him long enough in the NL East, so you know what he can do.
Pena again. And the reverse launch angle is working already.
How you doing, Cal? How are you, sir? Have a good one. Yes, sir.
Astros defensively, Yordan Alvarez is available but not in the starting lineup. But they got plenty of guys that were hot on that road trip with a sweep of Atlanta and a series win over the Rays. Schwarber now, and these two did meet up in the World Series. In fact, in Game 6, Schwarber hit his 3rd home run of the World Series, but obviously not enough as the Astros won Game 6, and Valdez was just brilliant. 3-0 with a 1.44 ERA in 4 postseason starts.
Now, last game I attended in Houston was the World Series game. It was a fantastic matchup. I mean, both teams, just how well the Phillies played down the stretch was so much fun.
Valdez is not built like your typical ace. 5'11", 240.
Yeah, has one of the shortest release points in baseball too. So imagine this: you're facing a guy like Fromber, and you're saying to yourself, "Okay, I need to get a pitch up." Well, the pitch up is at 97 miles an hour with downward action. You don't see fastballs like that. A fastball traditionally carries through the strike zone or has a little movement. His movement is straight down. And even if you're, as a hitter, trying to get underneath the baseball, it still moves way more than your brain's willing to give up. You have to swing at the invisible baseball below the actual baseball, which no hitter's going to do.
Schwarber hammers that one. Right field, deep, gone! And the Phillies are on the board first. And just like Game 6, Schwarber takes Valdez out of here.
Thumbs up from all the Philly faithful. A Schwarbomb in Houston. Now they're already throwing the baseball back. Wow, when Kyle hits one, it never comes back. Unless a fan throws it back on the field. This ball comes off the bat. It's a cutter, which Fromber doesn't throw many of. He might not throw another one tonight. 113 miles an hour off the bat. I round up. There's a little cut fastball spinning, and Schwarber, oh my goodness.
That ties him for his hardest hit of the year, the highest exit velocity. Castellanos, who along with the 3 young hitters that Tricia talked about, has really been driving the Phillies offense of late. Up the middle, through the wickets, Dubon is there to make the play. But the Phillies are on the board. Kyle Schwarber's 6th of the season. And this World Series rematch opens with a bang. 1-0 Phillies. Astros lineup presented by MLB The Show 23. Jeremy Pena, MVP of the World Series. On MLB The Show, player rating of 80. And you'll notice Yordan Alvarez is not in that lineup. You go further down to the bottom. Rylan Bannon gets his first action as an Astro. Aaron Nola on the mound. Mauricio Dubon is in the box, and a fly ball to right. First pitch swinging. Dubon, who has a 20-game hit streak. Castellanos is out there. And that's one out for Aaron Nola.
Well, Aaron Nola's coming off a start against the Colorado Rockies where he lasted 7 innings. This is one of the better starts he's had this season. Still dealing with a little bit of the walk, which is a little bit out of the characteristics of Aaron Nola.
Jeremy Pena. And of course, Pena, the MVP of the World Series, he had a hit in all 6 games of that series. He was also the MVP of the ALCS and won a Gold Glove. That's quite a rookie year.
Isn't that amazing?
No one's ever done that in the history of this game. Win those 3 awards in a career. LCS MVP, World Series MVP, and Gold Glove. He did it his rookie year.
Comes from a baseball family. Actually went to school in Rhode Island. Went to the University of Maine. Didn't have many offers, except for University of Maine. He saw him early, and he stuck with the program, and that's where he really grew.
1-1, hits that ball hard, right center field. Castellanos back, looking, gone, and it's tied, and it's Pena again.
What a pleasure to watch these two teams match up. It's Schwarber gets the first punch in the Phillies on top in the top of the first, and just like that, the Astros answer back. Opposite field tank for Pena. I mean, he has just turned into such a good player for the Astros. And for the years that he was on the team, when the team was in the playoffs, he was still worked out. He had the chance to experience the American League Championship Series, the World Series in 2021.
Tucker hooks one, and Stott to his left gets there and gets the out.
This is what makes Pena so good. He adapted his swing last season, shortened it up with Troy Snicker, and now he's on more pitches, has so much power to all fields. He's a wonderful athlete, wonderful shortstop.
Alex Bregman in the box. He's in the cleanup spot with Yordan Alvarez available, but not in the lineup with that sore neck. Bregman not off to a great start, though he's getting on base like a demon. The breaking ball there for a strike. His on base percentage is .362, but he's hitting just .229, 3 homers, 4 doubles. And he has a streak going as well, an 18-game on base streak. He's 3rd in the majors in walks. He's behind the count 0-2. Nola, certainly a workhorse. Since 2018, he leads all of baseball in innings pitched. And to start the year, he made his 6th consecutive opening day start for the Phillies. And Bregman down to the count 0-2, works it even to 2-2. To right, Castellanos to the wall, and it's gone. Is it, or did he get it?
Might be gone in his glove.
Oh, he's got it. He deked us. He deked me. Castellanos went up and down, disconsolate, and then the eyes widened, And he brought it back in. Wow. 1-1 after one.
What a fun way to end the first inning. Nick Castellanos going back on an Alex Bregman fly ball to right field that had a chance to get out. Nick Castellanos reached in, ripped out our hearts. Then he just kind of held it for a little bit. Even Aaron Nola was like, is that an out or is it a homer?
And the reaction from Bregman was home run. He had circled first and was headed to second, full trot, with a lot of confidence that he had hit it out. JT Realmuto, Alec Bohm, and Josh Harrison. Realmuto shoots it down the right field line.
You never forgive a position player that steals a hit from you, let alone a home run. Castellanos will not receive a Christmas card from the Bregmans. Yeah, no. We're not friends.
He is, you know, maybe not known for his defense, but he is really good at leaving his feet and making diving catches. So that is smoked into left. Realmuto all over that. The Schwarber homer and a leadoff single by Realmuto here in the second. And here comes Bohm. Tricia outlined the three young bats that have really helped carry the Phillies back to 500. We saw Bryson Stott. And of course, here is Bohm, who's been seeing a lot of time at first base in the absence of Bryce Harper. That one is fouled back. Harper, when he comes back, will not go to first base. He'll be the DH for a while because he can come back and swing the bat before he can throw in a game. But eventually, it'll be Harper at first and Bohm back to third. Roller up the middle to Barnes, shovels, Pena turns. That's a double play. And Valdez gets a lot of those.
This is what makes him so unique in that Frommer, you know, it's almost like he does a rope-a-dope. He'll give up a hit or two, that's okay. But he has the ability to roll people into double plays, and now that's 28 double plays turned by the Houston Astros. We said this about this Astros as a defensive unit. They're one of the best in baseball. 991 fielding percentage.
Josh Harrison fouls it back. Harrison getting a start in left field. Got Edmundo Sosa also in the lineup for the Phillies. He's had a real nice start. He's in the 8th spot. Christian Pache hitting 9th is in center field. And there is Harper. We watched him today take batting practice, and he looked like he was pretty darn close. And the plan, Billy, is probably not to send him down to the minor leagues, just to get ready in simulated at bats like we saw today.
Seen a lot of organizations, the Giants have noticed, do this in spring training. They like to have their pitchers match up against hitters and not have to worry so much about getting in a rehab game or go play in a backfield spring training game.
Another bouncer. Dubon to first. And a double play gets Valdez through the second. 1-1. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus is presented by Chevrolet, official vehicle of Major League Baseball. Loud start to this World Series rematch. Solo homers for the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber, and for the Astros, Jeremy Pena. Jose Abreu will lead it off. Corey Jokes and Jake Myers will follow, and Abreu takes a strike, and it's 0-1. One home run in his last 80 games. 181 plate appearances without a home run. It's the longest drought of his career.
A couple things going on with Abreu. I think A lot of teams have been feeding him fastballs under the hands. I think he has a slight mechanical flaw. Seems he's trying to get around the baseball, trying to compensate for pitches in. He's still getting on base. I mean, that's regardless of the home run. He's still getting on base. But his impact will be felt here in Houston offensively. But his personality is truly remarkable. He's a wonderful human.
And probably missed in Chicago.
I had the chance today to listen to a press conference that Jose Abreu was a part of as he announced a collaboration with a nonprofit in Houston for mental health. It was pretty cool. He was very emotional in talking about the connection with Happy Jack, which is here in Houston, and how he partnered up with the Astros Foundation.
(2-2) late on that. He has immense power to right center field. He's been pitched in and under the hands a lot. Another 2-2. Pache is there and makes the catch. Let's go down to the field. Trisha Whitaker. Trisha.
Well, hey, guys, let's go through that Bryce Harper timeline that you were talking about earlier. November 23rd, 2022, Tommy John surgery. April 5th, live BP. April 20th, he played catch. And, guys, he will visit a doctor in L.A. on May 1st, which means a possible return could be May 5th if the doctor clears him. You mentioned it. He did hit today on the field, and Phillies manager Rob Thompson said today was his best day. A solid base hit and a double off the wall. He said he's getting his timing down, and he'll take BP Sunday before the game, guys.
That's truly amazing, and it would be the fastest return ever from Tommy John surgery back into a starting lineup of a baseball team by a pretty good margin, too. And of course, it helps not being a pitcher because he doesn't have to throw. He will DH for a good spell before the arm's ready to go into the field.
And he's naturally right-handed, but he hits left-handed. So the right arm is your bottom hand, so you don't fully extend the same way as a normal right-handed hitter. So it kind of, there he is. He's throwing right-handed, even though he hits left-handed. You might say, Spilly, what are you talking about? Well, that bottom hand doesn't drive and extend to the same way that the top hand does.
That one, as Josh Harrison, after it in a sliding try, it's a foul ball. Jokes looking for extra bases. That is a difficult corner for any left fielder. It's tight. It's the Crawford boxes. And Harrison got there but couldn't hold it.
It really is one of the most unique left fields of baseball. There is no room as you're heading down that left field line. Notice he's sliding, and there's a little bit of optics too. As you're getting closer and closer to the wall, it feels like you're starting to get sandwiched in there. And then beyond just contending with that left field line, right behind you over your left shoulder, there's some strange angles that lead into your own bullpen.
Jokes fouls it back. This kid has really been a shot in the arm for the Astros, and such a great story. A local kid, University of Houston, 27-year-old, earned his way up with the injuries to Michael Brantley. Chas McCormick is out as well. Jokes end of the bat. Pache went back and now in, and he's there and makes the catch. And there's 2 outs here in the second. They'll bring up Jake Myers. So far, what do you see from Aaron Nola?
Well, the velocity for his fastball is up a little bit. So the first 2 innings, that tracks with what he's done over the course of the season. You usually do see velocity for Aaron Nola's four-seam up in the first couple innings. It will slow down second to third time through the lineup. I thought I might see a couple more changeups. Just if you don't have 94 in your back pocket, you can use the changeup to throw hitters off a little bit. But he's not throwing a changeup tonight.
Jake Myers, center fielder, he's making the most of his opportunity to play. He's been hot since the middle of this month. Astros have won 6 of their last 7 after a 7-9 start. And this run they're on has come against some really good teams. 2 of 3 at Tampa Bay, a sweep in Atlanta, and 2 of 3 against Toronto. And of course, without Altuve, Jose Altuve and Michael Brantley. Brantley is close. He's out in AAA. That's kind of his spring training. So Dusty Baker's hopeful that he gets him back soon. Altuve is further away.
Good. Okay. It's been a bit of quiet confidence with this Astros team as they look around knowing they're not even at full strength, and they've been able to do what they did in the last 7 days to the caliber of teams that they've played.
We saw Dusty last week and he said, yeah, we're just trying to hang around 500, get healthy, and that's when we make our run. That's kind of how they were last year. Little did he know they were going to sweep the Braves with Yordan Alvarez hitting 2 enormous home runs and a big RBI hit on Sunday to get the sweep, and then go shut out the Rays twice.
Well, the bigger story for me is the bullpen. I mean, as much as we think about this Astros offense and starting pitching, it's the bullpen.
Nola elevates and gets his first strikeout. That's a 1-2-3 second in a 1-1 game in Houston.
Right here, big first inning for us. Hey, Schwaber, remember, left-handed. Is there about to be a dent in that train? Bah!
Brandon Marsh is a lot of fun and a terrific young player, having a great year. Not in the lineup tonight, but mic'd up for us. Kyle Schwarber with that home run got him on his feet back in the first. Then Edmundo Sosa cuts at the first pitch from Valdez and fouls it back. Christian Pache, Bryson Stott for the Phillies. Sosa has been invaluable. The Panamanian plays everywhere. 3 infield spots. You can move him around. And he's handled the bat quite well. 3 homers already. And just 52 at bats. There's the train they were talking about.
Well, Brandon Marsh reminds me of a teammate of mine that thought the train was carrying pumpkins.
Oh, I've got a story on that too. Who was the Rocky?
I will I'll refrain from the name to keep them anonymous so they don't sound like a total buffoon. They're like, why are there so many pumpkins on that train? I was like, this is Minute Maid Park, the juice box. Those are oranges.
All right, so that means if I tell my story with the person that called them pumpkins, am I going to make him look like a buffoon?
Might as well.
Well, it was a manager that had not been in this ballpark. I think it was like the first time he'd come in here. It was Lou Piniella. And his team gave up a home run that hit the train. And in the post-game interview, he said, I can't believe it. He gave up a shot that hit the pumpkins. and the reporter said, Lou, those are oranges. All right, time for our Sage manager visit. Dusty Baker earlier with Tricia Whitaker.
All right, Dusty, first of all, Jeremy Pena jumped right on that fastball. What'd you like from that at-bat that you saw?
Well, I like the fact that the ball stayed straight, didn't have a slice on it. And, he hit it as squarely and perfectly as he could. He's been swinging better a lot. He's been swinging a lot better lately.
Valdez, obviously the early home run from Schwarber, but what are you seeing from him on the mound?
Well, give up a home run to Schwarber, that's no – you're going to give up something to Schwarber, but I'm just glad that it was a solo. But, the fact is that he threw up a double play this early in the game. And if he can throw up a couple more, then we should go deep in this game.
Dusty, appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Nice job, Tricia. Pache bounces out. And there are 2 outs. Anytime you speak with Dusty Baker, we had a chance to visit with him for a good while. You get a story about his father, and you get a story about his son. And they're always really cool.
He had one last check mark in his storied career to get, which was a World Series title as a manager. And Dusty finally got it. There was nobody in baseball that had more wins without a World Series title than Dusty Baker.
Stott has bounced out.
He was funny. As I mentioned, I was covering this World Series last season. He was one of the first interviews we got. I was like, Dusty, what are you feeling? Finally got a World Series. No one can say squat anymore. And he's right.
Where did it go?
No swing. Stott, who had bounced out back in the first. I think almost everybody in the baseball world was pulling for him as well. One of the nicest guys, one of the great baseball people whose career has spanned so many years, from Henry Aaron to now. There's a looper in the left, and that's a base hit for Jokes, who bobbles it, but Stott is on with a hit. So one of the stories he told us included his father and his son. And this was last week. He said his dad, and they're from Sacramento, when the Kings moved from Kansas City, his dad bought season tickets and had them for a long time. And then Dusty took over the payments and kept the tickets. Dusty was going to get rid of the tickets like last year or the year before. And his son said, Dad, don't. I think they're going to get good. And Dusty said, all right. And didn't sell the season tickets and still has them. And obviously the Kings got good, really good.
Well, the Kings are playing Golden State tonight. They have to win or their postseason run is over. Mauricio Dubon grew up in the Sacramento area as well, even though he's from the Honduras. Huge Kings fan.
That was a pretty good pitch. Maldonado held it. Valdez wanted it. But Trey Turner, the count now 1-1.
And at the top of the strike zone, you can see the face from Trey Turner. Wasn't expecting that pitch from Frommer. You face Frommer, you're expecting a sinker and the curveball.
So one throw over to first. Stott 3 for 4 in stolen bases, increases his lead. And Turner swings over that one. The Phillies are kind of middle of the pack in stolen bases. They are 15th in Major League Baseball with 17 bags. Houston is 11th, but just 2 more bags at 19.
Now, a lot of people think Trey Turner's going to steal 30. He's 4 for 4 on the season.
Stott's leaning, and he's running. Good jump, breaking ball, lined down into the corner and foul. And so Stott returns to first. The teams that are stealing the most bases in baseball are teams that don't have the big payrolls that are athletic. Pirates, the Indians, Baltimore. Those are the top 3.
That's something Trey Turner talked about in an article in The Athletic a couple weeks ago about stealing bases, saying, I don't know how you steal that many. It's hard on your body.
Pena across the diamond in time. And after giving up the Schwarber homer in the first, Valdez has settled in to a 1-1 game. Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet, along with the former Rocky Ryan Spilborghs, Tricia Whitaker down on the field. I'm Rich Waltz. Nick Castellanos' theft of a home run has kept this game at 1-1. 2 solo homers, Jeremy Pena and Kyle Schwarber. This is Ryland Bannon He's getting his first action with the Astros. With the injuries they've had, McCormick, Brantley, Altuve, they've had some guys that have come up. And Bannon, 27-year-old, has been with the Dodgers organization, Baltimore, and Atlanta. And he hooks that one foul. He has 2 hits in 14 Major League at-bats. And that came with Baltimore. And he plays the infield, and Dusty was going to give Dubon a day off, but he's on a 20-game hit streak, and so he said, I can't take him out.
No.
And I still have to get Bannon a start, so Bannon gets the start. And Dusty said he had a long hit streak going once, and his manager gave him a day off, and that was the end of the streak. He went 0 for the next start, so that's from personal experience. Aaron Nola with a fastball that's high. The Pena home run, the only hit off of Nola.
Well, what's fun about Bannon, I mean, consider Xavier, it's not, mentally you don't think hotbed of baseball, but he was Big East Player of the Year. And you love the stories of a player that 8th rounders, even as baseball has adjusted and the amount of rounds in the draft, an 8th rounder make it to the big leagues is not an easy feat.
Three-two. That is strike 3 call. That got plenty of the plate. During the break, Tricia Whitaker caught up with Rob Thompson, Phillies manager. It's presented by Sage.
All right, we'll start with Kyle Schwarber. Just like Game 6 of the World Series took him yard. What'd you like from that at-bat?
Well, it was a long about one, and he got the head out. He's been swinging the bat decent without a lot of success lately, but it's good to see.
That catch by Castellanos, that robbery. What was the reaction from the dugout? How impressive?
Oh, it's unbelievable, because we weren't really sure from down here whether he caught it or not, but he's been really working hard at him and Paco Figueroa. He's really improved over the last year and a half.
Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
Guys?
We weren't either. Thank you, Tricia. That was a terrific play. Martin Maldonado is up. Nola's 1-0. And a chopper wide of third. It was really fascinating talking to Rob Thompson tonight. And you brought up the question that I think a lot of people nationally weren't aware of. He went into last year thinking it would be his last year in baseball as the bench coach for Joe Girardi. He'd put in his time and had yet to get a shot as manager. And then things changed.
I just like I think we've all been there. You're going through the motions of something, and maybe the fire for what you're doing, maybe the passion isn't quite where it once was. And for him, he felt like the love affair of baseball was waning for him. And then, of course, you get a call halfway through the season. You're going to be sitting in the chair as a major league manager. And, of course, it's always bittersweet, too, because you lose a friend in the manager of Joe Girardi, and now you're tasked with this role that you've never done before. And for him, I mean, if you've been around Rob Thompson, Topper, wonderful human, really gets it, understands it, and it feels like the grind of what he's gone through has really put himself for a position of success as a major league manager.
When he took over, the Phillies were 22-29. He had been a minor league coach, a front office member, a major league coach, Tigers, Yankees, Phillies, born and raised in Canada.
It's pretty crazy, right? There's only been 3 Canadian managers at the major league level. The last one to do it was in like the 1930s.
2-2 to Maldonado. And he swings and misses. Maldonado right now is 0 for his last 20. Obviously not in there for his bat. He's an outstanding catcher, especially an outstanding thrower from behind the plate right now.
Well, this is good to see for Aaron Nola. He's starting to get a couple swing and misses on the 4-seam fastball, something we pointed out earlier. It's the lowest whiff percentage on Nola's fastball in his career.
Dubon after the first pitch, and Turner across the diamond in time. Aaron Nola, just like that, has retired 8 straight, got 3 punch-outs. Kyle Schwarber, second at bat. First one ended up in the seats. Game 6. Kyle Schwarber off of Framber Valdez. Tonight, game 1 of a 3-game weekend series, and that ball was cracked. And Valdez with a fastball gets a strike to open the at-bat. 6 homers now for Schwarber.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Schwarber will not see a cut fastball in this at-bat.
96 on that, nothing cut on that fastball. He gave up a couple homers in his last start. Sean Murphy and Ozzie Albies got him, but then straightened up and pitched really well and beat the Braves 6-3. Ended up going 7 innings and striking out 9. He has 1 strikeout in this game.
Well, Valdez, too, beyond just the stuff, he's overcome a little bit of anxiety on the mound. A couple years ago, he was looking at the totality of baseball and pitching on that mound in such big games. And he's learned to take breaths, slow his heartbeat, and he really put a lot of time and effort into performing at the highest level. That's why last season, during that postseason run, there's so much movement on that fastball. It's ridiculous. But to see, what his mind was able to overcome and allow himself to perform at such a high level.
Fouled at the plate. Andy Nunez is the name of the sports psychologist, and he works exclusively at the Dominican Academy down there. And coming off a rather ordinary 1999, 2020 was the year he really turned the corner. And he said, I give 75–80% of that turnaround to Nunez.
There it is. Sinker, curveball. He did sneak in a cutter. Sinker, curveball. My guess is he's getting the sinker again.
Oof. Close but low. And home plate umpire Lance Barksdale stuck the call. It was not in the strike box.
There's the curveball, just drops off right at the very bottom. You can tell, look, Framber likes this matchup between Kyle Schwarber.
This was and speaking of the work of Andy Nunez, this was a spot they really had to work on. When something doesn't go right, when someone makes an error behind you, or as he felt the umpire missed the call. He didn't miss it, but Valdez reacted that way. Things would snowball on him. Pop up. Bregman. Brandon Marsh is mic'd up tonight, and he was chatting with Mr. Castellanos.
Let's go, 8. Let's go, 8.
Hey, was it going to be a homer?
That was gone, 8.
What's all right?
That's your first one.
What a character. I mean, you have to have these guys. Have to. The monotony of a full season and having a player like Marsh that just keeps it light, and he's good.
Roller up the first base line.
Yeah, I don't want to tell Nick Castellanos or Marsh that the homer he robbed, according to the research tool, had a 99% probability, but the 1% that it might have been Homer, he robbed.
Bring back Mattress Mac with those odds. 1-1. Check swing, no swing. It's Will Little down at first.
Castellanos has been on a tear as far as not striking out. He has not punched out in 23 consecutive at-bats.
He's been on a tear and scoring a lot of runs. 22 runs scored. That's third in all of baseball. He's fourth in Major League Baseball in doubles. He's got 10 of those.
Check that, 24 consecutive at-bats without the punch-out.
Sharply hit. Bregman backhands and fires. Low. Safe. Abreu off the base. He stretched as far as he could.
Not an easy play on both sides. Notice how Bregman goes drop step, tries to give himself a little space, sets his feet, he bounces it over the long stretch from Abreu. Looks like his foot might come back.
Boy, on either of those views, it looked like Will Little had the best angle, because you couldn't really tell. And here's Real Muto. This might be the definitive look, and even there,
yeah, you can just by a cleat.
It's an error on Bregman. Real Muto, a line drive single back in the second. JT with a couple of home runs. Got that off the end of the bat, and Myers calls and catches. And here is Alec Bohm, who bounced into a double play back in the second. Bohm's transformation from the start of last year to the postseason was really impressive to watch, because he was buried defensively. He had that awful game against the Mets. Fans were on him.
Made 3 errors in a game. He mouthed that was very visible that he wasn't a big fan of Philadelphia.
Hits it hard. Pena spins and fires and gets the out. But he got through it, did Alex Bohm. Coming up, Jeremy Pena, solo homer, only hit, only run for the Astros tonight.
Lauren Gardner with your Apple TV Plus studio update. Out to a soggy Citi Field. How about this top 5? Matt Olson goes deep for the 8th time this season. A 3-run shot to give the Mets a 4-0 lead. Now in a rain delay. That thing, how about this? 110 off the bat, 433 feet. Rich, 5 innings in the books, which means it's a complete game.
LG, it's nice and dry here. The roof is closed. It was a gorgeous day in Houston, Spilly.
Beautiful day in Houston. A little bit surprising for the Astros. They've played 13 games so far at the Juice Box. They're 6-7, a game below 500.
Jeremy Pena, the homer in the first. Kyle Tucker. Alex Bregman will follow. Aaron Nola looks sharp after giving up that homer, and he misses in. And he counts 1 ball and 1 strike. Pena, we talked about his World Series. He is a real great package of power, of speed, defense, a swing and a miss there. He is the 5th right now, according to StatCast, the 5th fastest player in all of baseball in terms of sprint speed.
Speed has helped him at the most important position he plays, shortstop. I mean, outs above average. He's one of the best in baseball the last 2 years as a shortstop, covering so much ground.
Hits it to Trey Turner. And Turner has to hurry and get the out. Trisha Whitaker is down below. Kyle Tucker is in the box.
Well, yeah, guys, as we know, Kyle Tucker had such a great season personally last year. First-time All-Star, Gold Glove. But, of course, when I asked him what he's most proud of from 2022, he said the World Series. All the other stuff is cool, but that was the best. Guys, I also asked him from his view why this team has hit their stride recently after a great road trip. He said, without hesitation, it has been our pitching staff. He says those guys have been amazing, guys.
And, Trisha, he's starting to blossom as a person in terms of just being a little more open. His teammates say he's one of the funniest guys in that clubhouse, and there was a commercial online this week, one of his first public endorsement type deals, and they went to shoot it with a few teammates, and they said he was just absolutely fall down funny. Slow grounder. Nola gets there, and Tucker a couple of ground outs to show for his night.
Check swing to the pitcher, never funny.
No.
But in his time during the WBC, we heard this from Mark DeRosa, we heard it from numerous players. There was an epic chat log amongst the teammates on Team USA, and Tucker was the champion of the chat log with a bunch of different funny GIFs or GIFs, whichever one you want to call it.
I think you can go either way in this day and age, Billy. Bregman robbed of a homer. And in that mic'd up with Brandon Marsh, it sounded like, for Castellanos, it sounded like he was saying that was the first homer he's ever robbed. Is that what you got from it?
That's what I got.
Yeah.
You'll always remember your first.
That's a high pop. Harrison and Pache, and it's Harrison who has to come over and make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning. Nola is rolling. 11 straight.
We'll continue to highlight baseball's true pitching unicorn, Framber Valdez. The spin rate on his curveball is the best in baseball, and as a left-handed specialist myself, facing a guy like Framber would be incredibly difficult because the ball drops way more than you'd ever expect. It goes along with a fastball. It sits at 96 miles an hour. Out of the hand, usually you're looking for a curveball up in the strike zone, and it just never pops up. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing Josh Harrison or a hitter can do with that pitch.
Harrison bounced out back in the second. Nine ground ball outs so far for Framber Valdez. Harrison's in left tonight in the 7th spot. You've got Edmundo Sosa, Christian Pache to follow for the Phils. Bottom third of the order in the top of the 5th.
The Astros a couple years ago, Oz Campo was the signing scout that went out, signed Jose Urquidy, Valdez, Christian Javier, and they were targeting older players. They weren't looking at, especially on the international market. A lot of international signs, players are 15, 16 years of age. Valdez was 21.
And one of the things for the Astros that was really important, and they were really the first major league team to dive in with both feet to the driveline stuff, to all the technology, was the ability to spin the baseball and identify guys that with their work and the biometrics and the pitch design, they could get to spin it even better. And this guy is exhibit A on that. That is a 97 mile an hour heater.
There's Christian Javier. I mean, he has what he self-proclaims the invisible fastball. He throws from a low arm angle and just blows people's doors off, which is exactly what Frommer does right here to Josh Harrison. He's looking down, 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 curveball down, and then you go up the ladder, get the punch out.
Sosa fouls it off his foot. Phillies have won 3 consecutive series in 8 of their last 11. Yesterday they beat Seattle. Matt Strahm went 5 2/3 and 4 relievers. Cody Clemens knocked in the run. That ball's hit to left, and that's going to get over the head of Jolks and off the wall. And Sosa has his 4th double. This guy, who is kind of a stopgap, put him anywhere, has really produced. He's slugging well over 500.
Yeah, he's over 520 now. To give you an idea of where that's at, it's almost even with Nick Castellanos, who's hitting 4th for the Phillies tonight. It's a pitch he can handle, and just notice he just drops the bat simply straight to it. He's on time, so he can stay on plane.
You know, Tricia talked about the 3 young hitters that have helped propel the Phillies in this run of winning 8 of 11. There's Pache. Early swing, got a piece, 97 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. The other thing that has driven the Phillies is their bullpen has just been absolutely amazing. Last 11 games, 3 earned runs.
On the Astros bullpen, same thing. Rich, I looked this up. The last 2 weeks, the Astros bullpen has given up 6 runs. It's almost 40 innings. To give you some context, in the last 2 weeks, the Oakland A's bullpen has given up 49 runs.
We have a timeout at the plate, it looks like. Pache using his timeout. A lot of hitters are doing that now if they get down 0-2, just to regroup. Valdez checks Sosa at second. That's a good take, and not an easy take, as you have stated. Into right center field. That's going to get in for a hit, and it's going to scoot up the alley and get to the wall. Sosa will score. Pache to second. RBI double, and the Phillies jump into the lead. It's 2-1.
Double-double for Philadelphia Phillies at the bottom of the lineup. And in the case of Pache, now, originally he was a big-time prospect with the Atlanta Braves, was traded to Oakland, and now he's providing some offense at the bottom for the Phillies.
And so here is Stott, who's 1 for 2. A lot of moving parts there. Pache was breaking back to the bag. He's hurt himself. And Stott, I think, took that pitch with all the commotion behind Valdez, who wasn't bothered, and delivered a strike.
Well, that does not look good for Christian.
Pointing to his right knee. Well, the Phillies and Philly fans probably had a flashback there from spring training. And Rhys Hoskins in a non-contact knee injury. Hoskins' injury was severe and had to have knee surgery. He went down. Pache did not go down. He has stayed up the whole time, and let's hope that's a good sign for him. He's trying to talk his way to stay in the game. And here comes Marsh.
you feel for Pache. You get a spot start against Fromber, hit a double, and here's Rhys Hoskins in spring training. It's so hard to watch a player, especially going into the season, a lot of expectations. Rhys has been so important to the Phillies, both in the clubhouse and offensively. And before the season even starts, what a gut punch for the Phillies.
Hoskins is out for the year after surgery. And so now Marsh is at second. 0-1 to Stott, who has spent a lot of time with Kevin Long. All three of the young hitters have. There's a great article detailing their work. Stott, Bohm, and Marsh. Stott kind of went back to that two-strike approach that was successful for him last year. Pulls that ball. Abreu gets to the bag. That's the second out. Marsh is 90 feet away, and here comes Trey Turner. Turner's bounced twice to short. And he fouls that one off. .77 pitches in is Framber Valdez. Maldonado is the designated catcher for Valdez because Dusty Baker told us it is almost impossible to catch Valdez.
Just such late movement, so much drop on the curveball. We just pointed out the spin rate on it.
Turner can run. That's trouble. Valdez fires and gets him by a whisker and saves a run. But the Phillies on back-to-back doubles by Edmundo Sosa and Christian Pache are back on top. It's 2-1 and a close one at first base. Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet, alongside former Rocky Ryan Spilborghs, Tricia Whitaker down on the field, Rich Waltz here at Minute Maid Park. Oranges, not pumpkins, on the train, and Abreu takes outside. And it's 1-0. Aaron Nola with the lead now. He had the lead briefly in the first after a Schwarber homer. Pena then homered for Houston to tie it. But the Phillies get a run in the top of the fifth, halfway through, and Nola really settled in after the home run. He's retired 11 straight. Brandon Marsh stays in the game. Pache will try to get an update from the Phillies on Pache and that leg injury. Abreu turns on one down the line and deep and foul. And if you sensed a bit of anticipation in that call, it's because of the long home run drought for a guy who's been a great slugger in baseball.
243 career home runs for Jose Abreu, and he's in the longest drought without a home run in his career.
2-1 pitch. That's a good sign for him. Into right center field for a hit. Marsh is there to pick it up. And Corey Julks coming to the plate. And he's walking up to the tune of Just a Dog by Big Mo. And so Julks settles in with Abreu at first. Julks a fly ball out back in the second. Tricia Whitaker has more on Corey Julks and maybe Big Mo as well.
Yeah, guys, Corey Julks is your feel-good hometown team story. He's from Friendswood, Texas, just 30 minutes from here. And after proving his worth in the minors, he's gotten a shot in the majors with the Astros. And his numbers would insinuate he won't be returning to the minors anytime soon. When I asked Dusty Baker about what stood out about Julks, he said desire. He said he's just attacking the ball. And sometimes, he said, I even have to tell him not to do that so much because sometimes he'll swing past the ball. But you'd rather have that than a guy who's passive. I said, he seems like a guy who learns quickly, though. And Dusty said, yes, he certainly is. Guys?
Yes, he certainly is. Thank you, Tricia. Julks' baseball career was affected in a very positive way by a former Major League pitcher who was a coach in this area. Chuck McElroy was a Philly pitcher at one point as well. It's an advantage, Spilly, when you're coming up and your youth coach is a Major League veteran. And Julks said, man, he taught me stuff that nobody at my level had heard before. And it was such an advantage to go to the University of Houston with all that knowledge. And now here he is in the big leagues.
It really is when he can have somebody that kind of trim the fat and make things simple for you.
1-2 hanger, rolled in the hole at short. Turner going to have no play, throws across the diamond. It scoots away. Abreu doesn't run well, but well enough to get to third. Turner had no shot at first, and he still threw it. Bohm let it get by him, and that's going to cost the Phillies 90 feet with Abreu going to third.
As Phillies defense has been very tight. It's one of the best in the National League. I think in that hole, once you reach it and Trey gets to it, just notice he had a little trouble with the exchange. It makes the throw.
Bohm is not a natural first baseman, but still, if he had that to do over again, I'm sure he would have probably gotten a little bit in front of it. He was looking at Abreu thinking, hey, he doesn't run well, I got a shot.
Well, Julks running down to first base, just a dog. I looked it up. Big Mo passed away in 2007, but he was a very famous Houston-based rapper.
Great to have Big Mo on the show.
The memory of Big Mo.
That's right.
Julks is sniffing out the head. He can tell it's coming. But as soon as this gets past Bohm at first, good read from Jose Abreu.
You know, watching that replay, I thought Abreu may have had a big turn. He didn't have a big turn. He stayed at second. And Bohm, and this is, I think, a good scoring decision. Bohm's going to get the error. And a big moment here with Myers up. Houston down a run with runners first and third. There's the first throw over to first.
This is why you don't just stop and play spectator. Notice how he's watching. He sees it get away, and then he makes a decision on his own. The play never, ever ends.
Myers takes a strike. I told you Myers has really taken advantage of his opportunity to play. He's 7 for 15 with runners in scoring position this season. Struck out back in the second. Abreu a single into right center. Julks the ground ball single. And Myers is going to take a timeout. He wants to see the signs one more time. And Gary Pettis down at third base ran through the signals again. And that's out. This crowd, and this place is full. World Series rematch on a Friday night. They certainly got off their feet when Pena homered to right center. But for the rest of the night, the Phillies have essentially, and Nola especially, has kept this crowd out of it.
Nola's looking for a punch out right here just because with Ryland Bannon on deck.
Slow roller up the line. Coming home is Abreu. Boone's throw and the tag. Got him. Some atonement.
This is where the third base skill set of Bohm comes in. So he's at third. He comes in hard. It's an easy read for him because it's right in front of him. It's an easier throw. Abreu's not happy with it. You don't want to run yourself out of the inning if you're Houston. And now you're putting a lot of pressure on Rylan Bannon, who gets a spot start as the DH.
Bannon, who's 27, has had 15 major league at-bats, 2 hits. And it's a breaking ball to center field. Marsh is under it and makes the catch. Now it's Martin Maldonado, who is 0 for his last 20. The soft spot in the Astros lineup in the 8 and the 9 spot, and a great escape hatch for Nola. .65 pitches. Not bad at all for the bottom of the 5th. Maldonado has power, but contact has always been a challenge for him. He's a career .209 hitter. He did hit 15 home runs last year with a batting average of .186. You got Dubon on deck, riding a 20-game hit streak. He's 0 for 2.
The velocity dip for Nola over the course of the season, it dips usually innings 4 through 6. That fastball at 92, right in line with what we saw in innings 1 through 3.
You know, the dip in velocity, Rob Thompson told us today, is not unusual for Nola. Early in the season, he's a guy that gets stronger as the season goes along. He struck out Maldonado on a high fastball back in the 3rd. First and second, 2 outs. 1-2 pitch. High fastball, fly ball, right field line, into the corner and foul.
Well, velocity isn't the end-all be-all, but it does change a conversation for hitters. If the fastball isn't to the level where you're concerned about it, it lessens your secondary pitches.
Another 1-2. Breaking ball, and it's down. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. It feels like, even for a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball, Maldonado has to cheat a bit. 2-2. Struck him out at the knees, and it had plenty of the plate, and Barksdale stuck the call. And Nola gets out of 1st and 3rd, and nobody out. And the Phillies hold on to their 2-1 lead. Tonight, 10 Eastern, second game of our Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus doubleheader. Chavez Ravine, Cardinals, Dodgers, and our Apple TV Plus drone will be in Los Angeles.
Beautiful. I get so many mixed feelings when I see Dodger Stadium. I've gone to Dodger Stadium as a fan at least 100 times. My mom was the one that signed me up to play baseball. And then as an athlete, you play there and it becomes something different.
Schwarber takes in. Kyle Schwarber, third at bat. A missile of a home run back in the first. He popped out in the fourth. Opens up the sixth here against Framber Valdez, with Castellanos and Real Muto to follow. It is one of the iconic sporting venues in the world. And I mean, I'm sure for you, the first time you played there was a thrill. First time I got to call a game there was a thrill.
Yeah, my biggest thrill was hearing Vince Scully came home and said, "Mom, Dad, I need you to record the game." And they're like, "Why do you want to see him play at Dodger Stadium?" I said, "Because I need to hear Vin."
Schwarber fouls it off. Here's a pro tip for you. You know, back in the day, and obviously you can't do it now, sadly he's passed, but as a visiting broadcaster, when you got to Dodger Stadium, instead of going to the clubhouse, you went straight to the visiting TV booth because it was right next to the home booth, and Vince Scully was just on the other side of that wall. And at that time of the afternoon, he was voicing the billboards. Schwarber swing and a miss. So you would hear all the Farmer Johns and all of the great billboard reads. It's time for Dodger. And you could just sit there for 15 minutes and just soak it in.
Well, Valdez is now cooking with gas. He's just reaching back. Schwarber beat him in the first inning. They had an epic battle last at bat, popped him out, and then he got to punch his ticket.
Castellanos hammers that one to center. Myers. He can go get him. A very good defensive center fielder.
This is the favorite play of any center fielder. It's the fly route. It's the go route. This is where you get to show off your athleticism. There's no more Tiles Hill in center field for the Astros. They got rid of that, thank God, years ago. But this is like running down and touchdown, taking an extra base hit away.
Real Muto now. And the count's 0-1. Real Muto a single in the second. Chas McCormick is on the IL. Myers has been more than just a suitable replacement in center field. He's been outstanding. The depth that this Houston organization has is amazing. You know, Dusty Baker interviewed for the Phillies managing job, and it went to Joe Girardi. He was disappointed. His son said, "Hey, did you ever think you weren't meant for this? There might be a better job around the bend." Not that it's a better job here in Houston, but it was an opportunity. They desperately needed a steadying guy, a veteran, and he's the perfect guy for this spot.
Well, and Dusty, he alluded to 1975-76. He said, "Hey, Sparky Anderson inherited the Big Red Machine." And in the case of this Astros team, 6 consecutive American League Championship Series. Only the Atlanta Braves have gone to more consecutive ones. That was the 90s, the great 90s team. The Astros have been the class of the American League for the last 6 years.
3-2 to Real Muto. And JT lines it over the outstretched glove of Abreu. His second hit. And he's got wheels. There's 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts. And with 2 outs, this might be an opportunity to run here.
82 stolen bases for Real Muto. And this guy's just a phenomenal athlete. Was a Oklahoma quarterback, and he very easily could be an NFL quarterback.
And he was a shortstop in high school. And he is one of the better runners in the game, and don't qualify that for a catcher. His sprint speed, as we noted, is faster than the rosters of 9 different major league teams.
Isn't that crazy? That's a catcher, and they're usually the slowest on the team. He would be the fastest on multiple teams.
Bohm was jammed, and the throw to first from Pena is in time. Real Muto stranded. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Phillies on top 2-1. The MLB app is totally refreshed for 2023. The #1 place for live baseball, real-time highlights, breaking news. You can follow players, get a home feed personalized just for you. Download the MLB app today. As well, if you're in a shopping mood, MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Shop for your favorite team at MLBshop.com. Rich Waltz, Ryan Spilborghs, Trisha Whitaker in Houston. Terrific game. Mauricio Dubon has seen 3 pitches all night. Swung at the first 2 he saw, took that one. He's behind in the count now, 0-2. And he's riding the longest hit streak in baseball right now. He's hit in 20 straight. And of course, filling some big shoes with Jose Altuve out with a broken hand. Finally getting a chance to, unfortunately, because of the Altuve injury, play every day at age 28. He's so versatile, he can play everywhere. And that's a foul ball. If you're looking for a comp for a guy like Dubon, he reminds me a lot of a guy who didn't get to play as a regular until he was 28. Then had a really nice career, including a great postseason run with the Giants. That's Marco Scutaro.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, a lot of players just in their mind, you get to the major leagues, it's a thrill. But to get an extended look and an opportunity to play.
Drives that ball to center. There's a lot of room out there, and Brandon Marsh is there to make the catch. And that's out number 1 for Aaron Nola. Time now for our Siri trivia question. Just ask Siri. How many rookies have won World Series MVP? Well, that guy is one. We talked about his incredible year and postseason. ALCS MVP, World Series MVP. And some sweet kicks. A homer in the first, bounced out in the fourth. Swings and misses. Nola's been really, really good since giving up that homer.
Those look like the autographs of kids on his shoes. Well, one of the things that stands out for any hitter is when you simplify your swing, especially when it comes to the postseason, you want to be able to be on time against some of the league's best pitchers. And for Jeremy, he did that. Made a slight adjustment last season before heading into the postseason and really just exploded. The American League Championship Series MVP, World Series MVP.
That is strike 3 called. And again, Lance Barksdale's had a pretty good night back there. That's a tough pitch to call, but he nailed it. It was at the knees and around the black.
It's now 5 strikeouts for Aaron Nola. Notice the reception of JT Realmuto. You start down and you work your way up. Well received by Realmuto. I mean, the changeup he got Martin Maldonado looking to end the 5th. Jeremy does not like it, but Barksdale got it right.
Tucker fouls it back. We talk about JT Realmuto's pop time and all of that, but he has come a long, long way as a receiver, a framer. Pitch was in. When he first made the conversion to catcher, he wanted to move over and get in front of everything. And it took him a couple years in the minor leagues and even a year or 2 in the major leagues with a lot of work to calm the body and just go with the glove.
And beyond that, a lot of catchers have adapted the one knee receiving technique. And at first, Realmuto was against it. He kind of had a little bit of an old school mentality until he realized, and he even told Joe Girardi last season, before Girardi moved on, hey, this saves my knees and I can catch more. So if he's telling you, hey, I can catch more, Yeah, you want the world's best catcher, which is that guy right now, to catch as many games as possible.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Tucker's 0 for 2. Ooh, just missed.
So for Nola tonight, he's thrown 85 pitches. And a number that's just startling because he has received so many pitches on the edges. He has 15 called strikes. Those are pitches in the strike zone that the Astros are as good as anybody at firing the pitches in the zone.
No walks, 5 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts. Down goes Tucker. Aaron Nola, 6 terrific innings and a 2-1 lead for the Phillies. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent. Dusty Baker's career arc from player with the Braves, finished his career with the Dodgers, and then managing some of the greats in the game. He has been around like 5 generations of incredible baseball players. As Josh Harrison takes a ball, he started with the Braves. Henry Aaron, Clete Boyer, Tito Francona. That's the older one. Bregman cuts it off, fires on the run. That's a really nice play to get Harrison out.
Oh, Bregman was originally a shortstop at LSU. He was drafted first round in 2015. That is so much range for a third baseman. It's one of the harder plays to throw off the wrong foot across your body. This Astros defense the last couple seasons, they rank near the top in defensive efficiency in Major League Baseball, which is a simple stat. It's balls put in play turned into outs.
Edmundo Sosa doubled in the 5th and scored on the Christian Pache double. We have not received any word on Pache, who left the game after he broke towards third and then stopped to go back to second. Brandon Marsh about to get his first at bat. That ball's hit well. Man, this guy has done well coming off the bench, and all the way to the wall it goes. Edmundo Sosa. The Phillies, young hitters, have just been terrific in these last couple weeks, including this guy, Brandon Marsh. He's all mic'd up.
Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Lock in, Jay. Hey, it's time, baby. But that was impressive. Keeping that fair.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
I love you. It's time to check out. Got to go get ready.
That's when he was called to pinch run.
Well, you know, he puts water in his hair every 2 innings to achieve the look.
Oh, he's got the. He would fit in with the Lenny Dykstra Phillies.
Darren Dalton. Darren Dalton was one of my favorites. John Kruk. If you spend any time with Kruk, he's a riot. He's exactly how you would expect him.
And Marsh takes that one in. 3rd in OPS in Major League Baseball. He's got 6 doubles and 4 triples. He's a great package of speed. He's got power, especially to the opposite field. Kevin Long really has streamlined his swing. Runner goes, huge break, fouled at the plate. Sosa was off and rolling, and he'll head back to second. Sometimes when you make a trade, it's because of, you know, not what you need, but what you have. The Angels had Marsh, a great center fielder, but Mike Trout was in center field, right? And Logan O'Hoppe, the terrific catcher. You have JT Realmuto in Philly. So Philly's got a center fielder, Angels got a catcher. That's a buzz cut right in there. It's 3-1.
Yeah, there's probably a couple of people that think Marsh needs a buzz cut. It's hard to tell where the hair starts and where it ends. I like it. Well, Captain Jack Sparrow.
3-1 pitch coming. That's a strike. For Marsh getting to the big leagues in 21, it was bittersweet. He finally got to the big leagues, but he lost both his father and his best friend in the course of a couple months. And then 2 months later, he found himself in an Angels uniform in the big leagues. 3-2. Up the middle. Into center field. That's a base hit. Sosa will score easily. And Brandon Marsh continues to swing it. 3-1.
He just grinds you down. I mean, it's 93 miles an hour off the bat. It's well struck, but it's to a spot where the Astros didn't have it covered. Notice Valdez. It's like, come on. Got the ground ball out. It just found a hole. That's the problem when you do pitch to a lot of contact, is there are holes now in a major league infield because there is no more shifts.
And Marsh can really run. At first with one out. And Stott bends out of the way. We started the night talking about the young talent for the Phillies. And, you know, Edmundo Sosa is a guy you could throw in there as well. He's 27. He's got 2 doubles tonight. Pache is only 24. He had a double before he left. Marsh, the youngster, with an RBI single. Stott has a base hit.
One of the big changes for Stott working with Kevin Long was making sure he could stay in his legs, but without creating too much movement. Last season, 2002, it's really driving back. You're going to get a lot of head movement. You're also going to lose your spine angle. And the simple adjustment, less is more. He's not moving so much far back. The head doesn't move as much. His head stays in a much more directional line, and as a byproduct, the batting averages have just skyrocketed. 375 up and away, which was really hard to hit when you're getting into your legs too much. No one's hit better than Stott with 2 strikes.
Pitch number 107 is high, and then matches a season high for Framber Valdez. Phillies have added a run here in the 7th. Damage at the bottom of the order. High chopper. That's a foul ball. And Abreu whipped it to second. So Marsh is going to head back to first. I'll be honest with you, when I was a young player, The Art of Hitting 300 by Charlie Lau was the book that made the rounds through college and stuff. I never saw spine angle in that.
Well, it's funny, Charlie Lau was a big instructor for Charlie Manuel. Charlie Manuel for years was teaching guys in the Cleveland Indians organization.
Chopper over the middle. That's where Peña's playing. Steps on the bag, gets to first, and gets the out. But the bottom of the order for the Phillies has been huge. 4 hits in the 8-9 spot. And they come through with another run. It's 3-1.
Make room cause we moving in. Yeah. This time I came with friends. Yeah. With my team we aim to win. Yeah. Right now the show begins.
It's time to go right now. Get ready.
It's been an outstanding game opening this weekend series. Rematch of World Series combatants. Of course, the Astros won the World Series. The Phillies and Aaron Nola actually clinched their postseason bid last year right on this field. Bregman. And he takes a ball. You saw that great catch by Castellanos as we came back from break, and that robbed Bregman of a home run. He also flied out to center. Astros had a great opportunity in the 5th. They had first and third with nobody out. And Abreu was thrown out at the plate on a little dribbler up the first base line. Abreu and Jolks follow. Bregman hit it on the nose. Turner is there. And we check in with Tricia Whitaker.
Well, hey, guys, we know that Pache left the game in the top of the 5th. The Phillies are saying just what we would have thought from his body language. It is a right knee injury, and he will be evaluated after the game and tomorrow, guys. Obviously, he looked like he was in a lot of pain here, and yes, it is that right knee that's bothering him.
All right, thank you, Tricia. Yeah, Pache, that just 24. Rob Thompson having to deal with injuries just like Dusty Baker, and Abreu gets jammed and sends it out to right.
Like I said,
Castellanos is there to make the catch. So 2 outs pretty quickly here in the 7th. 91 pitches in is Nola, and into the 7th.
Kind of what we were expecting. A pitcher's duel between Nola and Framber. I mean, he throws another quality start, kind of expected. 31 quality starts now since last year.
That's pretty impressive. Jokes flied out in the 2nd. And the infield hit in the 5th. By the way, on that infield hit, they originally gave Bohm the error at first on the ball that got by. Now they've changed that error to Turner. The 2 aces matched up here to start this series.
They're both fantastic. And just a couple Sinai singles against Valdez. But in the case of Nola, I mean, what really has been impressive for Nola tonight is the amount of called strikes. He's used all of his pitches. He's used the sinker, four seam, cut fastball, changeup, knuckle, curve. Now, when you see this many takes and called strikes, that's letting you know, it's alerting you, as good as the Astros are as hitters, the different pitches and the sequencing that Nola and Real Muto have been able to work together.
That ball hit to center. Marsh is on the job, and he makes the catch. And Aaron Nola goes 1, 2, 3 through the 7th. On to the 8th. Phillies 3-1. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus is presented by Chevrolet, official vehicle of Major League Baseball, and sponsored in part by MLB The Show 23, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. Full house in Houston with good reason. World Series rematch, Phillies and Astros. 3-game weekend series opens tonight. Trey Turner at the plate and Brian Abreu out of the bullpen. First pitch, little looper, and Tucker is over into the gap to make the catch. And Brian Abreu is one of the great arms out of Houston's pen.
Well, his bullpen has only given up 6 runs in the last 2 weeks, and Abreu had a magical hat trick moment about 2 weeks ago when he got out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam against the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the Astros are strange in that their bullpen composition does not have any left-handed relievers. They don't need them. They have 3 relievers, Hector Neris, Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, that eliminate any sort of platoon split advantage a right on left matchup could have.
Schwarber left on left took Framber Valdez out back in the first inning, his 6th of the season. That's a strike. 99 on the black. 40,719 tonight, and that is a sellout. 2-1 coming. If you missed the homer, here's a little stat cast for you.
If you miss it, it didn't take very long. It was a cut fastball down and in, 113 miles an hour going out. The ball was destroyed. And if baseball had any friends and family, they will never see it again.
Strike 3 called. So Schwarber is out. This is this is a battle of two of the hottest bullpens in Major League Baseball in this series. The Astros just came through Tampa Bay with 19 consecutive scoreless innings in that one. And in that road trip, which included Atlanta, the pen, 2 earned runs in 19 1/3. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Castellanos was bounced out, reached on air, and lined to center. It's a good place to watch the game.
He just touches 100 like it's easy. Born in Santo Domingo in the Dominican.
This is a big play in this ball game. Remember, Bregman sent him to the wall. You heard Marsh say that in the dugout they weren't sure if he caught it or not, but he had to go into that sea of hands and bring it back. And Abreu gets Castellanos and makes quick work of the Phillies in the 8th. 3-1, bottom 8 coming up.
Lauren Gardner with your Apple TV Plus studio update as we get you north of the border. 3-2 Jays until this happens. George Springer with an RBI single gives the Jays a 3-2 lead. That would be the final score, Rich.
Thank you, Lauren. Former Astro George Springer. Aaron Nola's back out to start the 8th. 95 pitches in. Jake Myers at the plate, takes outside.
A little surprised to see it, but also at the same time not. Aaron Nola, second in the major league since 2018 in innings pitched, only behind Garrett Cole. You're also at the portion of the lineup with the Astros where not a lot of offense has happened. Myers, Bannon, Maldonado.
Slow roller. Turner on the move. That was close, but he's out. Myers runs pretty well. And there's one out here in the 8th.
Turner barely gets Myers at first. Turner's had a couple plays where he struggled to get the baseball out of his glove.
Knuckle Curve is the leader in the clubhouse tonight. And it's a good one.
It's a great one. The third most strikeouts in the last couple of years with the curveball. So he's using it. Might as well.
Bannon's 0 for 2. His first action with Houston. So 100 pitches matches a season high for Aaron Nola. Bannon kind of dumps that into center. Marsh is there and makes the catch. Let's take a look at pitching decisions presented by Sage.
Well, in a bat earlier today against Martin Maldonado, it started out with a 4-seam fastball. This was important because the Astros had a chance to get back into it. Maldonado fouled a bunch of pitches off, and then it comes down to a changeup well received by JT Realmuto at the bottom of the strike zone.
That was with 2 runners on. Back in the 5th inning.
Oh, nope. That did he go?
No swing.
So there is a stat that I really enjoy on Baseball Savant, and it's called strike whiff percentage. Anytime it's at 30%, that's really, really good. And tonight, in the case of Nola, all of his pitches, swing and misses, called strikes, he's over 30% on all of his pitches.
So the name of that stat again?
Called strike whiff. The percentage of pitches.
You don't often see the 2 words called and whiff because people assume that whiff is a swing.
Correct. Well, you want the called strike in the strike zone and then the swing and miss within the strike zone. So that captures both.
Down.
But it gives you a sense for Nola, he has been pounding the strike zone.
Yeah.
The reach base probability for Maldonado is 61%. I think that's high, even though the count's 3-1.
Yes, I thought it was.
I mean, Maldonado is 0 for his last 21.
You can hear Lance Barksdale in the background. Lance is a really affable guy. He's from Mississippi.
I think if you check out umpire scorecard tomorrow, I think his score is going to be pretty good. Center field, Marsh started back, now in, makes the catch. Aaron Nola comes out for the 8th and goes 1, 2, 3.
What
an ace indeed. 3-1 Phillies. Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet. With Brian Spilborghs, Tricia Whitaker, I'm Rich Waltz. Minute Maid Park in Houston, opening up a 3-game weekend series. A revival of the World Series. And Aaron Nola didn't pitch well in that World Series, but man, has he been brilliant tonight. Takes a 3-1 lead into the 9th. Rafael Montero, second out of Houston's bullpen.
What's up?
Realmuto, the pitch misses just barely inside.
You knew these 2 teams are both been playing high quality baseball.
JT lofts that into shallow right. Tucker in. Dubon out. Mauricio there to make the catch. All right, our trivia question tonight. How many rookies have won World Series MVP?
We know Jeremy Pena's won.
3rd rookie to win World Series MVP. Larry Sherry, who I believe was a Dodger in '59. And I love Miami, Livan Hernandez in '97.
I knew that one. It's where Craig Counsell scores at home plate after Edgar Renteria gets a base hit up the middle against the Cleveland Indians.
Counsell had 2 situations like that in '97. And then with Arizona on Gonzo's walk-off. LCS World Series MVPs in the same postseason. Some great names on there. That is strike 3 call.
That's another nasty reliever coming out of the bullpen for the Astros. This one in the case of Montero just freezes, kind of like Bohm at home. And going back last inning, Brian Abreu punched out Nick Castellanos, who hadn't struck out in 26 at bats.
Everything out of this bullpen is hard.
And they're all righties. Yeah, you say like, well, where's the soft spot? Where's somebody that I can match up and maybe get in at bat? There is none.
And there's no situational lefty who's got the funky delivery. It's like, hey, this is what we got. We got heat. We got movement. Harrison's 0 for 3. Parallel tracks, it feels like, for these 2 teams. the last couple weeks. Neither team had a great start. Then suddenly, 10, 12 days ago, they've both kicked it into gear.
You get good starting pitching, you get the matchups you want from your bullpen, and things settle down.
That one crackles in at 96.
But both have two major fundamental aspects of what makes them successful. It's defense. Defense has held both teams in a place where your offense can possibly catch up.
Lance Barksdale brings up Josh Harrison. Bottom 9 in Houston, 3-1 Phillies. This week it's MLS Match Day 10. Catch all the action Saturday beginning at 6:55 Eastern exclusively on the Apple TV app. Downtown Houston sellout here, 40,000 plus. Welcoming back the Phillies. And they've got Jose Alvarado, who was big in that World Series. He made 4 appearances in that World Series to finish 2022. 4th save of the year Wednesday in the win over Seattle. A scoreless 9th. He's got a 2-run lead to protect bottom 9 and the top of the order. Dubon, Pena, and Tucker. Dubon, a 20-game hit streak. He's 0 for 3. And a dive bomber is strike 1.
Alvarado's been virtually untouchable. He actually got tagged for a home run on Monday. Jorge Soler got him.
Walks and hits per innings pitched. A whip of 0.53.
Isn't that ridiculous? And it's a big fastball.
This is the 41st hitter he's faced. He has struck out 22.
Now last time Alvarado was on the mound here in Houston, it was the big home run to dead center from Yordan Alvarez. He's probably not going to see him tonight. Yordan dealing with a neck issue.
You see the note on the Phillies bullpen and how good they've been. Just like that.
Now just like that, it ends Dubon's hit streak.
Here comes Pena.
That's a 2-seam fastball. He doesn't throw the traditional 4-seam. He goes 2-seam. A lot of movement, a lot of action.
Has not issued a walk to go with those 23 strikeouts. Pena, a home run in the first, has bounced out, struck out. Tucker and then Bregman. That's 100, but it's low.
This is what makes the Astros so good. 7th inning or later, they lead baseball in runs scored, batting average. They're near the top in OPS and average with runners in scoring position.
They had some stirring late inning heroics in the sweep of the Braves in Atlanta.
Alex Cintron trying to figure out what the heck Alvarez is throwing. He's throwing fuel. Much has been made about Josh Hader and his sinker-slider combination. Yeah, Jeremy's going to ask for a timeout. Yordan is right up there right now as back-end lefty reliever who is virtually untouchable. There's no helmet, no gloves, so don't expect Alvarez.
2-2. And Pena still having trouble getting around on another 99-mile-an-hour fastball. 8 innings of Aaron Nola. 3 hits, a run, 6 strikeouts. 2-2. That's down. 107 pitches for Nola, 72 strikes, and you tracked called strikes all night. He had 20 called strikes,
which is an incredible amount of called strikes. If you get 10, that's a fantastic night. 20?
3-2, struck him out. 100, right at the bottom of the zone. Wow.
And he just reaches back. That's a sinker, 100 miles an hour. And again, Real Muto behind home plate tonight. Master class in receiving skills, both sides, between him and Martin Maldonado. Go back and watch how the receivers were tonight.
Wow.
Tucker now. Last chance for the Astros. Down 3-1. Solo homers traded in the first. Kyle Schwarber and Jeremy Pena. Great defensive play by Castellanos to rob Bregman of a homer. Phillies added on in the bottom of their order in the 5th and in the 7th. Edmundo Sosa got both of those rallies going with doubles. (2-0) on the ground, and the Phillies stay hot. Philadelphia has won 9 of their last 12, and for the first time all year, they peaked their heads above 500. The Castellano catch, the Schwarber homer, and the bottom of the order, and lights out bullpen, and to top it all off, the headliner, Aaron Nola, 8 innings, just a run. Absolutely brilliant.
You couldn't ask for a better game on a Friday night. You get a bit of a grudge match. You have the Phillies returning here, first time since Game 6 last season. You get the matchup you want to see, 2 of the league's best, Nola and Valdez, and they gave you everything you wanted. There was defense, there was timely hits, there was a homer. That was a fun baseball game, no matter which fan base you're from. That was a good baseball game.
Well, Rob Thompson and the Phillies open this weekend series with a 3-1 win. Remember, he told us earlier tonight, hey, not worried at all about Nola. He usually gets off to a slow start and then kicks it into gear. He certainly did, and this really set the tone. It was a missile, 114 miles an hour. Schwarber opening up the first with that homer against Fromber.
Yeah, the Schwarbon for Kyle, it was 113 miles an hour off the bat. And when he gets one, he gets one. It was loud, it set the tone. Nola, with a little bit of a lead, able to settle in.
Let's go down to Trisha Whitaker. Trisha?
Well, hey there, guys. Yeah, I'm here with Kyle Schwarber. And Kyle, take us through that early home run and get into it to take it deep.
Yeah, it's a good pitcher out there. I mean, we've got to see him quite a few times here recently, so you know, it's just got to try to lock into the zone, and you know, he got me down.
That doesn't get old, does it?
No. These kids. But no, he good pitcher, got him in the zone, and made a mistake, was able to take advantage of it. But overall, good team effort, good team win.
All right, be honest, bring back a little bit of memories from Game 6 when you did the same thing in the World Series.
Happy we won this game. So you know, obviously it is what it is for them, but happy that we got a win today.
Aaron Nola, how impressive was he today? He went out for the 8th. That's the first pitcher this season for you guys to do that.
Yeah, huge, great effort by him. I mean, the way that he was able to go out there, command the zone with his fastball, then curveball off it with his changeup, kept the hitters off balance. It was a huge outing for us, going on a big you know, trip here, going out on the West Coast. So he did a great job, picked us up today, and you know, tip your cap to him.
Castellanos, that catch, describe it.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's been playing unbelievable out there in the outfield, and you can't say enough about the way that he's been out there, going out there, playing his defense and taking his at-bats right now. You know, whenever that ball's hit out there, you're really confident that he's going to somehow wind up making a catch out there. It's either going to be sliding, robbing a home run, or whatever it is. He's been playing his tail off.
Last thing for you, Kyle. This team's on quite the hot stretch these last 12 games. What's been clicking?
Yeah, you know, kind of the biggest thing is just making sure that we play our baseball, that, you know, we're always going to be prepared when we walk out on the field. I'll take our team being prepared with anyone, but results are going to be results. We're going to win, we're going to lose, but you know, if we keep minimizing the little things and keep taking advantage of our little things that we can put on them, that's going to be good things for us.
They certainly did that today. Kyle, thanks so much for the time.
All right, thanks.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Tricia. Great job tonight. 9 of 12, the Phillies have won. First time over 500. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus returns. Next week, another doubleheader. First, 6:30 Eastern. The White Sox are in the Natty to take on the Reds. Then at 7, the Twins head to Cleveland for a showdown with the Guardians. The Aces were out tonight, and it's Aaron Nola who bests Framber Valdez. For Ryan Spilborghs, Tricia Whitaker, our entire crew, I'm Rich Waltz. Stay tuned. Friday Night Baseball post-game coverage from the studio with Lauren Gardner. We'll see you next week from Cincinnati.